Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back for another video. What shall I say? Another bloody day. And so, hey, how about we just talk about, here's the things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about things that people are calling for things that have never happened in Bitcoin's history to happen. And so I want to talk about those things, what those things are, and is this time different? You know, we've got to examine those things. But I also want to give an observation, and I want to give you a little bit of hopium, not too much, because I always want to be thinking clearly and straightforward and not be overruled by my emotions, which admittedly is difficult right now. I fully admit that. But so I'm going to start with the observation and then move on to the little bit of hopium and then give my analysis of things that have never happened before, and then asking this question, is this time different? And so here's my observation. Okay, let's just get out of coin360.com here. Oh man. This is what conviction looks like versus fear, uncertainty, and doubt. This is not surprising to me at all, that this is what we saw, what we've been seeing over the last couple of months with Bitcoin, lots and lots of conviction, just so many outflows, more and more outflows from exchanges. You know, people moving to cold storage, moving off of exchanges, exchange supply decreasing. And I feel this right now. I just want Bitcoin. That's the only thing I'm willing to buy right now. Not Ethereum. I just want to buy any new purchase. I just want to buy Bitcoin. And I think that's a lot of people's mentalities because they have a great deal of confidence with Bitcoin. But then look at Ethereum, $262 million of outflows. That is not an insignificant amount. And I would be willing to bet that this is not just the case for Ethereum. Sorry, of inflows. Did I say outflows? That this is not just the case for Ethereum. That this is happening with Solana, with Avalanche, with Polkadot, with Binance, with XRP, with Doge, with Cardano. That this is happening pretty much with every altcoin. Every altcoin is uncertainty. That the altcoin holders are panicking. The Bitcoin holders are panic buying. You know, at least that they're panicking, like moving, you know, they're aggressively taking crypto off of exchanges because they're in it for the long haul. That is the difference between conviction and something that you're buying in order to sell. And so why am I saying this? A lot of people are going to blame Bitcoin for what's going on right now and that the market's following Bitcoin. And I think it's actually very much the opposite, that this is an altcoin capitulation. And the altcoin market is dragging Bitcoin down with it. And so what does that mean for the future? I don't know. I mean, guys, we could go lower. I mean, I've been saying that this right now is not a time to buy. You know, I'm not going to be preaching buy the dip, buy the dip. What I want to see is some kind of leveling off. And because there's so much uncertainty on a macro scale with the Fed, with Russia, but with all of this fear with these altcoins that we certainly can go lower, unfortunately. So let's see where this goes. You know, I do have a point in mind. I'll get into that later in the video as to when, you know, I'm going to start loading up with whatever dry powder I have left on the sidelines, you know. But it's not now. It's not a $34,000 Bitcoin. No. So hopium. All right. Here's a little bit of hope. I would strongly recommend that you follow Magic Internet Money on Twitter. And he alerted me to this back when Bitcoin was, I don't know, somewhere in the 50s, somewhere much higher than where it is now. And he's just drawn this chart. I'll zoom in on a second, but let's read this comment here. I cannot help but comment on how people are convinced things have to be crypto winter or bull tar to the heavens. Macro pivot in time was here. We have been sideways ever since. You cannot get macro bullish or bearish on this asset when it's ranging, which eventually resolves. So eventually it'll leave this range, but right now it's in a range. And so here's the reason why I'm pointing you to Magic Internet Money is I'm always going to look for people who call the top. you know, who called that $69,000 top. Magic Internet Money was one of those people. He just said, hey, we're in this range. And so he's kind of drawn this sine wave. Is it going to go on like this forever? No. but we are very much right along as scheduled, and Magic Internet Money, last I checked, he does believe that Bitcoin for this cycle is going to peak in the fall of 2023 or winter, sorry, not 2023, 2022, excuse me, fall or winter of 2022. And so called the peak and is probably, from what I understand, pretty close to calling a bottom right now. Maybe we'll go right back down to $30,000 or 28.8 was the bottom over the summer. And so let's zoom in on this chart. This is the old chart. This was back when Bitcoin was, in the 40s. And right now, if you look at it, it's right here. If you see my mouse, and this bottoming out date is February 6th of 2022. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, here's an update of that. Well, no, that's at $40,000. So that's still a little old, but can you picture that sine wave that's happening? So this idea that we're going to, I know everyone's calling for the 20s now. And when has ever, retail been right? When has the majority opinion been right? But I do think that the majority opinion right now is around this $20,000 range, maybe even lower. The 200-week simple moving average continues to rise. That's at a little over $18,000 right now. I would say, absolute. I don't think we're going there, but absolute worst case scenario is we're just going to go straight to the 200-week moving average. That's going to be the bear market bottom. That I just want to keep every possible scenario in mind. But let me share with you certain things, and you guys might already know this, but let me share with you certain things that have never happened in Bitcoin's history. Number one, Bitcoin has never gone back to its previous cycle top after crossing that top, never come close to it. What's the previous cycle top? Around $20,000. Everyone is pretty well aware of that. Bitcoin, a lot of people calling for Bitcoin to go to 20,000. I know, some people, Richard Hart, he's calling for like $10,000 or something like that. He's calling for something that has never happened in Bitcoin's history, going back down to or below the previous cycle top. And so everyone's saying $20,000, and trust me, they were saying the same thing in July. That was the big opinion. That was the predominant opinion. We're going to $20,000. They are calling for something that's never happened in Bitcoin's history. What else? Not only have we never gone down to the previous cycle top, we've never gone down. We've never had a weekly close at the 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level from the previous cycle top. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is that we have never had a weekly close at, that would be about $30,000 or around $30,000 for this cycle. But we've never in Bitcoin's history had a weekly close below a 61.8% higher level than the previous cycle top. So that puts it right around $30,000. But look what happened over the summer. That huge liquidation day in May, we went down to $29,000. Whales scooped that up very aggressively, and we bounced right back up. And then in June, we went down to 28.8. But we were only there for 2 hours. We were in the 20s for 2 hours. And then in July 20th, we bottomed out $29,200. And I remember that very well because I set a limit order for $29,100 and didn't get it. And that was it. But we wicked over the summer 3 times below that level, but we never had a weekly close below there. And so again, people calling for Bitcoin to go where? In the 20s, and to stay there. I mean, maybe a wick down there, just like we had over the summer, but to have a weekly close there, they're calling for something that's never happened before in Bitcoin's history. In fact, we've never had a double tap of the 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level. So maybe it seems very likely, that this time is different with that we will have a double tap of that. And because, that's only $4,000 or, a little bit more than $4,000 away. So that's certainly possible. But I wouldn't be shocked if, this was the bottom. Still, I'm not touching this right now. I could see it going a little lower. I could see alts continuing to lead the charge. So what else? Here's the deal, though. We are seeing unprecedented price action right now. I'm not going to say that that's, there are certain things that are happening right now that have never happened, and we do have to keep that in mind. Think about this also. The liquidation wicks. There were 3 major liquidation wicks in 2021. So May of 2021, we wicked down to $29,000. We were there for a very brief moment. And then what did we do? We swept the lows. We went a little bit lower, not that much, but a little bit lower. And but then never closed below, again, that 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level. We had another one in September, another liquidation wick down to $43,000, $10,000 red candle in a day. And then over those next few weeks, we continued. We swept the lows and got a little bit lower, went down in the $30,000 range. And then this time we wicked down, we had a liquidation wick down to $42,000, but this time is different. We were for a while sweeping those lows. And I think that was a logical time to buy, was when we were sweeping those lows. But now we're in the $34,000 range. This is a different time period. It's a combination of what? It's a combination of fear that the cycle is over because we didn't have that blow off top in December. I thought we would be over that by now. We'd be ready to rebuild, but here we are. The disillusionment of that, which is like, guys, you always got to be open-handed about the timing, but there's a lot of people, it seems to me, who were not open-handed about that, who were very much all in with Bitcoin peaking in December. To me, that made sense at a time, but then, 8 days after that $69,000 peak, I started pivoting, and you can see that's well documented. So what else? We've never had this kind of a dump without a retracement. Is this time different? So there's 2 charts here. There's a reason why I want to do that. Okay, so let me lay out best case scenario and let me lay out the worst case scenario from here. And then there's plenty in between, but I'm going to draw a new fib level because we have these new lows at $34,000. And I thought I was drawing that fib level. Where did it go? Okay. So this is a very crude drawing, but all right. Let me actually put it at $30,000. How about we say around $30,000 that would be the low? Am I saying that's where we're going to go? No, but it does seem possible that that's going to be the case for sure. So I would say best case scenario is, this is, again, if we go to $30,000, that we would have a bounce back up to $53,929. That's the 618. The 618 level, or maybe the 0.5, a little under $50,000, and then, but what I think would be the 618, we'd have a bounce back up there. We will, if we do get there, we will get rejected. There are plenty of people who are eyeing that, because we always have a retracement. We just don't, the idea that we would not have a retracement, we just go straight down to $18,000 or something, 200-week simple moving average. That's never happened before. There's a retracement that would happen. That's always happened. Really, even in just general investments, what's the famous saying? A dead cat bounce. That we would have a dead cat bounce at the very least to the 0.5, but I would say the 618 or the 702, which is $56,000, and then get rejected there. And so here's what I think would happen, because I do not believe that $69,000 was the top, is that we would go up to the 618, get rejected there, go back down to the 40s, and then make another move up to the 618, and then break through that. And that would confirm that, no, we are not in a bear market. But in my mind, this is the best case scenario, that there is no just going straight up back to new all-time highs, that it's going to be a long and rocky road. How long is it going to take? Maybe a quarter, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. Maybe something like that. But my strong conviction is that we are going to have at some point some kind of a retracement. Maybe it is February 6th is when we start reversing. I don't know. So best case scenario, get up to the 618, go back down to the 40s, move up higher. Worst case scenario, this time's different. It's just, it's hard for me to believe that this time is different. I have seen this level of despair before. I saw it in December of 2018. I saw people completely give up hope as Bitcoin went very quickly from $6,000 to $3,000 after holding $6,000 for about a year, going down to $3,000, down to the 200-week simple moving average. And of course, people were calling for $1,800 Bitcoin, for $1,200 Bitcoin. I saw that same kind of despair that I see right now. Right now, as in the capitulation has already happened. But guys, I mean, it's still, I know that it's frustrating because it's like looking at all the things, the fear greed index, RSI, what else? Oh my goodness, I'm totally blanking. I'm just the fact that long-term holders have no interest in selling. Miners have no interest in selling. Miners are actually buying Bitcoin right now. If you didn't see that on my Twitter account, miners, people who like work to get Bitcoin, they're also buying Bitcoin. Conviction, you know? All those things, in my opinion, still support this idea that there's no reason for Bitcoin to go down 85% like it always does from its cycle top, which I'm not convinced that $69,000 was a cycle top anyway. I am convinced that it's going to take a while, but before the next halving, you know, maybe late 2022, early 2023, or sometime that we're going well beyond $69,000. So, but worst case scenario, this time's different. We got the Russia-Ukraine stuff. We've got the Federal Reserve. Man, are we not pricing in all those rate raises, which, who knows? I fully expect the Fed to reverse on that at some point in 2022. So they always do. They can't sustain this house of cards without, you know, trying to raise rates. The wind will blow too hard and they'll see it and then they'll reverse like they always do. So anyway, I don't have an encouraging word right now. I'm not saying that this is the bottom. I am saying that yes, this time could be different, but head versus heart, you know, my head says, no, it's not different. So we'll see. Hang in tight. I know, especially for those of you who don't own any Bitcoin or Ethereum, that this is especially rough. And you've got to have conviction, man. I've been saying that over and over again. For times like this, the market is always going to keep you on your toes, you know? You've got to have some level of conviction. And the more I'm seeing this, the more I'm realizing, like, I only have conviction in Bitcoin. Unfortunately, I wish I had conviction anywhere else, somewhere else, but it's only in Bitcoin for crypto. So hang in there. There's got to be, it's not going to go down forever. It's just not. And the sentiment can change on a dime. There will be happy days, you know, again. So, all right, that is all I have. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, a great rest of your day, and that you're able to sleep well. So I will see you in another video. Peace.